So this is MIL-SPEC Monkey, and we are here with
Shaw Concepts. This is Shaw. We're gonna walk through this display, go through everything with you, and explain a little bit.
Secret scroll mode here.
Oh yeah, staying off screen, I guess. But this is our Arc Carrier V2. Key buzzwords there would be modularity and comfort. But what makes our system special is that we have what we call the spider tab system. It's these straps right here, and they hug the plate bag so that the same plate bag can be small, medium, or large, extra large, and hold different plates. So here we have a shooter cut, and the mannequin we'll get to later has a sappy cut in it. Front of it has an Arc Placard V3. It's able to accommodate plenty of inserts we'll be going over later on at the wall, and it also can take a first spear tube directly, so you don't have to worry about Velcro flaps or anything else like that. You can directly connect to your placard, pull it in tight, and also eliminate a bit of weight and layering on your front. There's our Arc Cummerbund V2. It has a first spear tube that's covered up with MOLLE, so you're not losing too much real estate. It tapers to a tube band so that you can choose how high you want it to be and get your plate heights different. And it uses a shock cord to go into it so that it's field repairable. You can choose how much tension you want. And yeah, our rear plate bag is built similarly to the front, except there's no room for a placard. Instead, it's full coverage MOLLE, so 6 across and 6 tall, so you can accommodate most zip-on panels, adapters, and stuff like that. Our shoulder pads and our shoulder straps can be adjusted for departure angle, so if you've got bigger traps or smaller traps, you can choose how narrow or not narrow your shoulders basically depart. And plenty of MOLLE, Velcro, all that. And then our pontoons act somewhat as like the hood of a car, where it basically covers up all those spider tabs and allows you to, essentially pull into the plate and then also access fantastic cable management. So we can move on to the other mannequin behind it, and you can kind of see that example of that cable management. On the right, we have our Arc radio wing with a 152 in it, and you can see how the antenna relocator cable and the push-to-talk cable is, retained up against that plate, nice and clean. And then that MOLLE on the front's being used to hold a CAGWorks EUD, and then you can see below it is our Arc Placard with our quad ram insert, and we can get into those inserts again later, but below it is our raid pouch. And our raid pouch is a ditchable pouch, so instead of having to work off of your crotch and get your contents, you can grab that first spear tube lanyard, pull it, and then lay it down next to your patient if you're using it as an IFAC. If you're using it with tools or general purposes, you can just access it better instead of having to fish around your crotch essentially for that. Below that is our usurper belt, and on one side we have our sidekick holster pad. That it basically just piggybacks off that bottom screw on most screw patterns out there, like the Farland one, and allows you to have a bit of comfort in the field. If you're wearing a pistol for long hours, you can basically have this pad that out, as plastic and metal does not feel great against your hip after a bit. And it features MOLLE. I have a smaller frame, and so I don't have a lot of real estate around my body, so it opens up a little bit of pouch real estate in front of it. Great for pouches, badges, cuffs. And then we have an elastic thigh strap, so you're not creating a tourniquet on your thigh. You can have a comfortable stretch that works with you. And on the opposite side is our depth pouch and our flex pouch, and that is has a built-in cant so that you can basically MOLLE in these. I'll move that for you. It's right here. So you can see those are built in. They're the depth is double elastic pistol pouch. Basically built so that it's a bit more durable. We have double the elastic, and we have a hank material on the inside acting as a friction pad so that all of this gets held well. Behind that is the flex pouch, and that is just our rifle version, built the same way, double elastic, hank on the inside. Difference is it has MOLLE in front of it, so you can stack it, and you can get a brief glimpse of the usurper belt, which we'll be going over shortly, but you can see that it has that micro MOLLE and a Tegra structural body that will allow you to basically mount most pouches, and you can notice that there's a 3-point suspender loop, so you can also add suspenders to this later on if you're really loading it up. Above that is our plate carrier panel. This was built because I essentially had a pack on my back I couldn't access, and so we came up with a way to connect the straps to the carrier or a chest rig. That way you can disconnect one side, roll it to your front, and then you can basically access it. This one can be made into whatever you want with whatever MOLLE pouches you want. If you have a MOLLE pack, it'll basically, run it however you want, build the pack you honestly wish you had. And then above that is our brain pouch. This is our first night vision helmet accessory. It's basically a zippered organizer pouch that allows you to carry battery packs, strobes, batteries, counterweights, whatever you want. Most counterweight pouches out there are a bucket and a flap design that can't really hold anything or have exposed batteries. We don't like any of that, so we basically made up this. It has plenty of tie-down points and a cable pass-through at the top. So if you're running a battery pack with a cable, it'll basically be able to emerge and you can keep that out of the way. So that's it for this mannequin, but we can kind of swing on over to this other pedestal right here, and you can see again, this is our ARC placard acting as the core of our chest rig kit, as well as our raid pouch, and you can get probably a better view of that raid pouch now over here with that first spear tube and lanyard sticking out. And then you can see the sides of our chest rig work very similarly as our cummerbund. Key thing with this was we built it so that it has a very slick harness, as if you're wearing a chest rig, you're most likely going to be wearing some sort of pack or a ruck, and you don't want that conflicting with your pack at all. So very flat construction. Really just takes your placard that you already have set up and lets you run it as a chest rig. You can see that we have a triple RAM 308 insert there, so it can hold 3 308 mags. Not a lot of inserts out there or placards on the market can do that, and it still uses our RAM design. So we'll be able to show you a bit more of that in a second on the wall and show you really all of your options there. Moving on, we also have our, well, actually behind you right here.
Swinging around.
We have our mannequin. Again, we have our chest rig kit there, and on the back, just like that plate carrier panel, this is our plate carrier pack. It's a pretty simple utilitarian design of just 2 general purpose pouches on the exterior, and then a clamshell body on the interior that can be used as a med bag, as a radio bag, and it comes with optional compression straps, so you can remove them if you want. You have MOLLE on the sides, the ability to run bolt cutters on the inside if you want, and then full clamshell on that rear side so that, you know, again, you can add organizers or whatever you want and fully access your bag. And then that hydration pocket can be used with our Tegris tool sheath so that you can run bolt cutters or whatever, and use the exact same strap system so you can still access your pack yourself or run it as a standalone without, you know, using it on a kit or anything else like that.
A little something for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Is there padding between the tool slot?
Oh, yes. So basically, I'll go ahead and disconnect this side. You can kind of see that there is padding back here. It's pretty basic, you know, 1/4-inch foam inside of there sewn down, and it has a bit of padding there.
Right, I assume so. Just check.
Oh yeah, we believe in putting padding against the body. You'll see that especially with our belt design when we get to that. But we can roll around the front of it and kind of talk you through some of those things. Again, it's our ARC placard acting as the base of our chest rig, and now you can see we have 2 ARC radio wings holding a 163 and a 148 radio, and then we have an ops core dual push-to-talk attached there. We have our quad RAM insert, our nerd pouch. This is built so that, you know, you can do your nerdy activities. Really, most professionals aren't carrying just mags and tourniquets. They're carrying other tools, baby wipes, compasses, notebooks, and stuff like that. That allows you to do all those professional tasks that you're actually out there to do.
Doing a little strategery.
Oh, yeah. And then flex pouch right here on the front, plus and up to 5 mags. Raid pouch, and it's a fanny pack configuration, so it can be used in 2 methods, not just as a hanger, but also as a fanny pack strap, or a fanny pack, actually. And that is the gist of it. This mannequin is inspired by amphibious missions like scout swimming, diving, being a boat coxswain, all of those things. So I was on a jump dive team, and I was a combatant diver, so a lot of the stuff is actually stuff I had for diving, like my fins and my low volume mask. So
awesome.
Shifting over to our right is where our pelvis is here with our usurper belt. Here you can get a really clean view of what the belt actually looks like on its own. Again, we have our sidekick piggybacking off of that. And then if you look here, if you were to basically disconnect this belt, instead of just Velcro, we use G-hooks to attach. And then our inner belt is padded, so it has foam lining the inside. Again, we believe anything that goes against the body should be comfortable, not just 2-inch scuba webbing digging into your hips. And so, crazy concept. So your clothing is comfortable. It's not made of Tegris or your scuba webbing. So same thing here. That connects into that. G-hooks lock in those positions. And then you have your, again, canted built in. You can do whatever single MOLLE pouches you want. And then you have micro MOLLE running through here in 1/2-inch increments so that you get better lockup with different pouches. And very light outer belt. And then our inner belt is actually with the buckle so that essentially, you know, you have a buckle on your pants and then G-hooks on the actual outer one running through that. And then you can just tension that down so that it fits a bit better once you have that if you put on more layers or really anything else like that. Now finally to our wall, we basically have all of our pouches. You can kind of see them and their names from left to right, you know, kind of what we covered, our depth pouch, flex pouch. Our ETA pouch is our elastic tourniquet add-on. It's just a very simple tube of elastic and MOLLE, so you can attach that. Our big freaking gun pouch is for those ignored machine gunners and other ordnance. It can hold linked ammo, 100 rounds to 7.62 or 200 rounds to 5.56 in a pork chop. Also 40 millimeter grenades with an insert. And it has shock cord on the side, so you can basically tighten it down so your rounds aren't loosely shaking or anything else like that. You can see our nerd pouches again, our shoulder pads, our raid pouch, our brain pouch. The OmniSert is a elastic insert that can basically have you dial in whatever slots you want. And then you come to our full suite of inserts. So we have triple 5.56, quad 5.56, quintuple SMG large, sextuple SMG small, triple 308, and triple AK. What makes these really special is that they have a blend of elastic and Tegris so that it keeps it from collapsing completely, so you can re-index those mags. Hank on the inside, and this actually started out as an AK prototype because AKs have those locking lugs that tear up pouches, and then we discovered that this design was great for pretty much all the mags out there. And so that goes in there.
So what's the current mag range on them?
What's up?
You're saying it works on most magazines, or?
So the design worked on all of these magazines. It started out as an AK one, but then we found that it really worked well for all of these mags, and so it's great retention, great ability to re-index it, and all of that.
Or just to clarify, the RAM triple 5.56 is a different product than the AK variant? Or?
Yes, they are different size-wise, but same structure and design philosophy there.
Just tweak the dimensions a smidge.
Precisely. Then we have a rear document stacker that just stacks on the back. Again, professionals are going to have to carry a lot of documentation or guides and stuff like that, so they can do that. We have our elastic placard, which is just a low-profile version, very simple, 3 mags, pen sleeves, tourniquet, just really ability to run a very standard load on the front if you want something very simple in one package. There you can see the naked radio wing on the right, and below it the Shawshank V3, which started out as a knife pouch, but can handle Motorola-sized radios, magazines, and stuff like that as well. And all of that goes under the cummerbund. So that is the quick rundown of this wall, and I'm sure you've noticed that there's a weird white thing in the corner.
Yeah, let's talk about this fucking thing.
Yeah, so we're a bunch of nerds. So this is basically us flexing our design and production capability, and also just that thought process of running, what would fighting in space look like, especially more sooner rather than later. So few considerations. Logistically, it costs around $10,000 per square foot to get into space. So carrying a smaller weapon system, you can get a lot more ammunition with you up there, and magazines is important. So we just chose an MP7. And the other thing is there's no velocity drop-off, and all you need to do is puncture the other suit to essentially depressurize them. So you don't need to basically go for any, vitals or anything. You just need to be able to puncture the suit or helmet. And so, that caliber can go ahead and do that.
I see you've thought about this.
Oh, yeah. Also, your legs don't do anything in space for you, so you're going to have to basically pick them up, armor up your shins, and then create yourself a smaller package on your front so that, you can pick them up and actually stop those rounds from penetrating your suit, making yourself a smaller profile. But you also can't make yourself too big, as if you make yourself too big, you can't get through the holes in other shuttles and stuff like that. And, scuba divers don't knife fight each other underwater. Ships pretty much fight ship to ship. So the only reason why you would have people really fighting in space is really kind of what the Marines used to exist for, which is to stop mutinies and then also to capture ships that, are deemed important enough not to destroy. So the ammunition needs to be built so that it doesn't puncture the shuttle, but it would puncture, enemy suits. Grenades can't be thrown by hand, so you'd have to basically launch them, so we have a 320 on the other side. Magazines can be upside down, as suit mobility is limited, and also, gravity's not going to be pulling your mags away from you or anything else like that. We have ATAC lower because visibility in that helmet sucks, so being able to look a little bit more downward is important. And that is really the gist of it. If we had more time, we would have done a lot more, but we really just try to think about the necessities of, what happens with gravity. And one final cool thing is slings don't work in space, so we have these on retractable lanyards so that should the user let go of the weapon system, it just retracts to them and stays retained. A sling would just be loose webbing floating in space. So that is the gist of the suit. That is the gist of the booth. Everything else we've been doing here. But, you got any questions for me?
I think we did a good spread.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully in the comments, people can keep asking little small finer details. And I hope people are as impressed with this NASA build as I am.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic, brother.
I appreciate it. And if people have questions, we're very responsive online. DM us on Instagram, email us, customerservice@shaw-concepts.com. Check out the website. But yeah, we're fans of MIL-SPEC Monkey. I've been watching them since high school, and here we are exhibiting for the first time a good amount of time later. Well, basically a decade. So
Well, honored and happy to show off all the cool stuff. You're clearly dedicated to the arts of tactical gear.
yep. So that's the gist of it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody else for watching. If you liked this video and want to support us, check out the MIL-SPEC Monkey store. Although known for morale patches, we also specialize in a good selection of DIY hardware and tactical accessories.